What's up, everybody? Todd here with Citizen Fence. Welcome back to the channel. Trying to get back into the swing of video content. I'm coming at you this week talking about belts, right? So, a while back, I did a really short video on belts right around the start of when I really kind of started to dip my toe into the YouTube thing. And so I thought that could use a revamp, right? So we're going to get into what I would say probably the most common types of belts you're going to see and the brands, minus one that I use currently, which is maybe less known. Um, but yeah, so we'll get into it. So starting off, I'm going to go from longest amount of time to current. Now, I will say all of these belts, the newest one that I have been running, I have just under a year of time running that one. All the other belts, the other one that I've had for the longest has probably been about, I don't know, probably 5 years that I've had this belt. The other two's probably, the other one's about four, or yeah, other two are around 4 years. So I've had quite a bit of time with these belts to wear them, play with them, and really figure out what works best specifically for me. Right now, what I may talk about here doesn't work well for me, may work fine for you, but the main thing I want you to take away from this are the considerations of the points that I'm making that you might want to look for in a belt, right? What's going to work with your lifestyle. So we'll get started with that. First one is going to be the Core Essentials belt, right? I've had this one for a while now. The Core Essentials, their ads are everywhere. You see them all over the place. They have a good reputation of being quality belts, being able to support the weight. This one it's got like a hinge ratcheting system, right? So they just kind of uh, click through. It's got the micro adjustments. Okay, this was my first real like gun belt, concealed carry belt. And for not, my little bit of experience that I had at the time, it worked out fine, right? I had the micro adjustments, it supported the weight, did everything it needed to. It is definitely stiff, and it definitely holds some memory, as you can see here with the certain particular shape that it has. But it also has a little bit of give going forward, right? So it can sag a little bit. Is it this one? It's not this one. Other than that, for it supports where I need it. Definitely holds memory, but I will say when it comes to these, they have the larger buckle. These can be kind of cumbersome for me. And especially if you're trying to get them all, if you're trying to adjust and you can't fit that through your pocket, or not your pocket, but your belt loop, that's going to be something to consider. Overall, I think they're a good belt for the price that they are. I do think there are better options out there, depending on what you're looking for. For me, it came down to the flexibility and that this belt has throughout my daily life. Like, it supports and does everything I have. But when I really have to, if I need to cinch it up to get tight, I might lose a little bit of flexibility, and I really don't have that room to move with that secured tension all at the same time, if that makes sense. Next up is going to be following right behind this, and that is going to be the next belt. Now, this one has the EDC buckle. As you can tell, I have ran this one quite a while. It is frayed. It has been through the ringer. Not a bad belt by any means. Does a bit better job of on going around, like not maintaining as much memory, right? So it does a good job with that. But where I thought the failure point on this belt was, is if you look here, you can see that it's starting to bow in the middle, right? So it's starting to give. And for me, that was kind of I don't know what caused that. Like, the belt is stiff, but at some point, for some reason, on the inner portion of this belt, it decided to start giving there, and then that kind of let me. That was allowing the weight of my gun to fold forward, and I really didn't like that much. And still, kind of the same thing with the Core Essentials belt, is that whenever I would go to cinch it up, I didn't have that flexibility of movement and that freedom that I needed, along with the support, right? So going from there, I moved forward, trying some different stuff, and really went low profile. And this is the Blue Alpha Gear belt here. This is their, I forgot which one it is, but it has their EDC buckle. It's got like a little polymer loop. It's Velcro, right? Super simple. I will say, out of the Core Essentials and the next belt, this belt has held up phenomenally, right? I've run this belt through all sorts of classes. I've run it through, just casual stuff at the range every day, and it held up. It took a beating. It did everything that it was supposed to. Now, the only issue that I had with this belt, and it's going to come down to this Velcro. While at first it cinches up well, you can nice and adjust it, and with the way the buckle is, it's nice, because if you have a claw on your holster and you cinch it up, it's going to actually cant that gun into your body more, right? Carrying appendix. So it's really nice for it getting a little bit more concealment. But the issue that I had with the Velcro is that whenever you would tighten it over time, that Velcro would kind of pull and it would slip a little bit. And I constantly kept finding myself readjusting and readjusting. Now, like I said, when I first bought this belt, I did not have that problem. But over time, I'm sure the hook and loop is wearing out. Like I said, I've had this belt for about 4 years now. Would I still use it? Yes. And certain circumstances, I do still use this belt. I carry these belts to classes just in case somebody doesn't have a good belt. This one is pretty good on universal fit, right? So I tend to take this one with me more often than not in case somebody needs a belt. But overall, in quality, the Blue Alphas are really, really good belts. They definitely have the stiffness where you need it, and then they add a little bit of flexibility, but you don't get much stretch, like any give, still for that mobility portion, right? Now, on to what is my current everyday carry belt. I've had this one for about a year. I was actually going to buy a Hunter Constantine belt before I came across this one, but he was out of his belts at the time. And I was going to the Range Master Instructor Development course, and I wanted something that was, since I was going to be in the classroom, out on the range, I wanted something that was going to give me a little bit of more comfort when I'm sitting. I'm not going to have something that I'm having to loosen the belt and tighten the belt and deal with all that stuff while I'm in and out of the classroom. So enter the Agonic belt. Okay, you may not have heard of this before. Whenever I first heard of it, I did not remember the name, but when I was thinking about the Hunter Constantine belt, I'm like, wait a minute, there's another belt out there. Took me a while to find it, but I finally did. I have been very, very satisfied with this belt. I highly recommend it. It has been wonderful for my everyday carry, making life so much more comfortable. Now, a couple things about this belt. It does have a bit of the tactical look to it, and that is more than likely due to because the guy that developed this belt was a SEER instructor, okay? So if you look at this belt, it has like these little sewed 1-inch notches in this belt, right? So kind of the cool thing about this belt, if you're into like the crazy EDC stuff, right? You hide handcuff keys and all that stuff like that. You can cut that threading and have a larger pocket. These are functional, right? You can stick small items in there. You could actually cut these open and hold a magazine in this belt if you wanted to. Inside the lining of this belt is actually like a rubber material, so it actually has like some grippiness to it, which is kind of cool. And it's nice whenever you're putting it on the buckle. It doesn't slide around a whole lot, and it's actually got something that holds on to it. As you can see on the loop that I commonly wear it on, it's got a little bit of memory there to it, but nothing really crazy. The key thing about this belt that I like is it is flexible, right? It gives where I need it to give. And let me give you an example of how much it has, right? So watch this. Look at how much that belt stretches. So whenever I'm bending over, I'm sitting down, getting in the car, whatever I'm doing, I do not have to adjust this belt at all. It moves with me throughout the day, and it makes my life so much more comfortable carrying a firearm on me all the time. Now, what about the weight, right? The support that I need for my holster, my gear, my kit, everything else. This is kind of cool concept. Kind of the same thing I believe like Hunter Constantine has in his belt, except his is inlaid in the belt, right? This one is kind of separate from the belt, staged separately, okay? So they have these, I forgot what this material is called, but they have this placard here, okay? And you have a loop here. Now, you have this slip loop, this elastic material that moves around. So this can be wherever you carry. This can be placed anywhere on this belt, okay? So that's really nice for the versatility. As you can see, this definitely holds memory. If you see here, it's got some wear on this side of it for the inside of the belt, and the reason for that is if you're trying to go a little bit lower profile, and so you don't want like your clips being obvious on your holster, you can actually separate your belt from this, run your clips through here, and then your belt actually overlays your clips, and you still have the support you need. So it adds a little bit to help you be a little bit more discreet if you want. Now, overall, does this belt look a little bit tactical? Yes. So I wouldn't wear this with dress clothes or anything else. If I was going to appendix carry, I would probably buy something like a dedicated leather carry belt. And I typically don't need one of those that often. It has a very nice aluminum buckle. The other cool thing about this is these are made in the USA. Okay, so you're supporting an American company. These are I forgot how much they come in under the price of the Hunter Constantine belt. But yeah, I have been thoroughly impressed with this belt. Some of the threading has frayed on this belt. Some you can see in these certain spots, but it's not that big of a deal. As you can see, these other ones that I've had, they've had threading fray on them as well. I just go over them with a lighter and burn them down if they start becoming an issue for me. But yeah, I use this. I wear this belt all the time. Even when I don't have a gun in my pants, I wear this belt. It's just that comfortable. So yeah, I hope y'all like the review of these belts, kind of going over the main ones here: Core Essentials, Next Belt, Blue Alpha, and then Agonic here. If I had a Hunter Constantine belt, I would put it up against it. One of my buddies is planning on possibly getting a Hunter Constantine belt. If he does, I'll check it out and see what I think. I might end up switching to one of those down the road. I've heard nothing but great things about them. But this is what I have had experience with up to this point. And I hope it helps you in your search for a quality belt, right? And like I said, don't necessarily worry about the brand. Take into consideration the points of concerns of the pros and the cons of these styles of belts to help you in your search, okay? If you like what I'm doing, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, share it with your friends. That's the best way to help grow the channel. We've been doing a pretty good job of growing with each video, getting new subscribers, and that's great. I also have am working on a new standards patch for training classes, right? So I'm going to have a citizen defense standards that I will have out there. If you're interested in that, you can look up more information on that on my Instagram at citizen_defense. I'll post something on his YouTube as well. But if you will, go translate our subscribers on YouTube over to Instagram, because I'm shadow banned quite a bit over there. So let's continue to support, especially if you want updates on new videos when they drop. All that content will be released over there as well. So I hope everybody has a great week, a great weekend. Get out there and train, hit the range. Until next time, y'all stay safe.